Well, stop me if you've seen this, because Apple did the impossible and they put the new M4 chip in their best-selling Mac. I know, it's crazy, it's weird, but it's out now, it's official, they're gray, there's gray ones. There's some that are grayer than the other gray ones. They have ports and chips and screens and cameras. Without further ado, let's dive into some of the changes of the M4 MacBook Pro lineup. Let's begin. So of course, not only did we get a new base model M4 chip, we also got even more powerful M4 Pro and M4 Max chips, which have got beefed up GPU cores, unified memory for days, way more performance than you could ever ask for, and honestly, while the designs are very similar, I apologize if you were holding out for an OLED display or Face ID. There's none of that here. It's the same displays as before, same keyboard, speakers, trackpads, and all that, but as far as the more expensive MacBook Pros go, it's all just about the chips being incredibly fast and capable. We're gonna need to do some more Geekbench tests and again, real-world testing on those higher-end MacBooks to figure out if Apple's claims about their extreme performance gains are as accurate as what Apple is claiming. I'm sure there's some modest spec bumps across the board. Probably, depending on what you're doing, it's a jump between 20% and 30% roughly, whether it's processing power or graphics performance and that kind of thing. But yes, they should be faster than before. But it should be noted, while Apple loves to talk about Apple Intelligence on these new Macs, you can still access all of these Apple Intelligence features on older MacBook Pros. In fact, you can buy my exact MacBook Pro, which has still been running great with the M1 Max chip, 8 terabytes of storage, and 32 gigs of memory on eBay for like $2,200, cheaper than the base model 16-inch, and it still has great microphones, great speakers, webcam, display. I love my MacBook Pro, so if I lost it or it was stolen, I would still just buy a used or refurbished M1 model because they're so much cheaper and they're still very fast. But if you don't like going the used route and you just want to get the best of the best hardware, yes, the M4 Pro and M4 Max are faster than ever before. You'll pretty much never find a MacBook with battery life this good and performance this good on the market. It's like not even close out there. But where more of the changes are for the lineup definitely stem down to the base model, which thank God did not get a price hike, just like the iMac, so it's the same price as before, $15.99. But thankfully, just like the iMac, they did double up on the memory. So if there's one good thing we got out of this overhyped, overmarketed AI transition, it's that Apple decided that, hey, you know what? We should probably include some more RAM on these machines. They're trying to run so many large language models, you know, locally, that they finally decided we shouldn't skimp out on the RAM anymore. Let's just throw as much as we can on this thing. So 16 gigs of memory is now standard, with 512 gigs of storage on the entry-level MacBook Pro, which now comes in space black. So space gray is gone. It's just silver and darker space gray. And they fixed one of my biggest issues with the base model MacBook Pro, which is excellent. You can now access a third Thunderbolt port on the right side of the machine, which means you can charge it on the left or right if you prefer charging with USB-C like I do. So that basically addresses, I think, all of the major complaints people had with the entry-level MacBook Pro, being you miss out on the right side Thunderbolt port and you only get 8 gigs of memory by default. I never thought it was that big a deal because I was like, hey, you could always just double up the RAM for $200 if you care about it that much, and there's a lot of people that probably don't. But to see Apple listen and actually address these spec concerns, because Apple Intelligence is the new star of the show rather than, you know, RAM upgrades, I suppose that is refreshing. The MacBook lineup feels a lot cleaner now, and it's a lot easier to recommend these machines to people because they're just so capable. Their battery life is fantastic, especially on that base model. You're not going to find battery life on any laptop that affordable that's that good, along with the incredible performance that the M4 chip offers, and having a 24-hour battery life is just nutty. Apple Silicon has been great for a long time. I would still recommend buying refurbished or used on an older model because they're just as good and they haven't changed in a lot of ways. That's why I won't be upgrading to any of the new M4 Max. But how about you guys? Did any of the features they talked about today kind of win you over or make you feel like you had to upgrade? I just have to get the latest version. That's the best thing about new M4 Max coming out, is it makes the M1 Max even more affordable because they're several generations behind now, but there's really nothing wrong with them. They're still incredibly fast, capable, and have great battery life. So that's how I feel about the subject, but hopefully you can make a more informed purchase decision now. Thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you all in the next one.